I wanted to make a video about this very special item, and I do apologize. I'll apologize in advance for the quality of this video. I am by no means an expert in photography or videography or any field of that whatsoever. I'm going to tell you the story about this item, and to my knowledge, I'm not going to say it is a unique item. I will say that, I'm just, out of all the items in the whole entire world and all the people, I'm not going to say that this is the only one, but I will tell you that I had this item signed in person by these four gentlemen right here, and I'll tell you the story of this item. This is actually a piece of table from a wrestling show in, I do believe, Sanford, Florida in 1998. And I'm going to tell you the story behind it. The story is that my mirror image identical twin brother, Jason, he got tickets to this wrestling show, and he was going to go with our mutual friend, Chris Perry. And unfortunately, Jason, unfortunately for him, but fortunate for me, he had to work. So Chris Perry and my brother, gave us the tickets to go. So we went, and like I said, I do believe it's Sanford, Florida, and this is circa 1998. We went to the wrestling show, and during the wrestling show, I do believe that the last match involved Sabu, and Sabu ended up laying this gentleman across, I cannot recall the gentleman's name, but he laid him across this table, a big table, and he ran across the ring, jumped over the top rope, and landed on top of the gentleman and broke the table. Well, I'm pretty sure that the last match of the evening was the match with Sabu. So after everybody, I'm not going to say after everybody left, but when everybody was clearing out, I looked, and this table was just sitting there. So there was a piece of this table, and I took it. I took this table, and I heard stories about the wrestlers getting together after the shows and, going out and partying and drinking and having a good time or whatever. So somehow, some way, I found out where the wrestlers went to, and they went to a bar. It was like a bar, and that was attached to a hotel, and it was not just a little tiny bar. It was a nice bar. It had pool tables, and it had a dining area, and it had a full bar, and it was a nice hotel. But to make a long story short, I put this item in my car. Chris Perry and I go to this bar, and we walk in, and we see these wrestlers. I recall Sabu and some wrestlers at the table, and so we decided we were going to hang out, and we were going to get this signed. So we did not have much money on us at all. It was 1998, and we were young, and we were pretty well broke. And what we ended up doing is there were some small bar tables that were elevated above the dining area and the bar, and it was actually perfect where we could kind of like watch the wrestlers and without them really noticing us. We definitely didn't want them to think that we were stalking them or like giving them the eye and pissing them off. You know what I'm saying? This was back in the day before before I ever knew about what they call quote unquote, or I'm not going to say quote, but, sports entertainment, to me, and I'm just going to say this right now, these are athletes. You can say whatever you want about wrestling. People can say it's fake, it's, scripted, it's whatever. Listen, the word fake, and these gentlemen are athletes. These are high caliber athletes, and you cannot be a upper echelon champion, someone superior in your field, the wrestling industry, and be stupid and be weak and be you have to be strong, you have to be fit, you have to be intellectual. Yes, these matches are scripted to a degree, and yes, they don't go out there and they don't MMA brutally, fight each other and break each other's, arms and legs and, back and stuff like that, but I mean, that's for a whole nother video. These gentlemen are athletes, true superior athletes, and I believe that they should win an Oscar for their performances and their Olympic caliber athletes. I mean, the conditioning that goes into, the upper echelon professional wrestlers. I mean, that's a whole nother video, but I don't even know where I'm at now. Oh yeah, well, Chris Perry and I are up there, and we're playing pool on the bar table, and we're watching the wrestlers because we want to time it whenever they're leaving. I want to ask them to get their autograph on this, but we don't have that much money, so this is sad, but it's true. Whenever like we were banging the balls around or whatever, and we were shooting pool or whatever, and when one of us would make a shot, the other one would hold their hand into the pocket and catch the ball, and we would put the ball back up and shoot it again. I mean, it's sad but true. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to do what you got to do when you don't have no money and you want to get some autographs, And okay, to make a long story short, this goes on for hours. They sit there, and there's some wrestlers that come, there's some wrestlers that go. Sabu, I remember Sabu drinking and smoking and dipping. I mean, don't hold me to it 100%. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm pretty sure that he was drinking and smoking and dipping. But I'm not talking anything negative about any of these wrestlers. I have the utmost respect. So. Especially for somebody like Sabu. I mean, I'm just saying, I have so much respect for Sabu. I mean, and I'm not downplaying any of these other wrestlers, but, props to Sabu. I mean, he's been all around the world. I mean, his uncle was, the legendary Sheik. I mean, the Sheik trained Rob Van Dam and Sabu. I mean, God bless them all. You know what I'm saying? But, okay, so I'm going to fast forward. We see them walking out. Sabu is walking out with some wrestlers. And so what I do is I get in front of, I leave before they do. And when they're walking out, when Sabu's walking out with the wrestlers, I ask Sabu, I walk up to Sabu, and I'm like I said, this is before I knew about quote unquote, sports entertainment and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I had so much respect for Sabu. I mean, he's a badass. He's a tough son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, he's been drinking, and I've never met him before in my life. So I mean, I walk up to him and I said, "Sabu, sir," I said, "Sir, I have a piece of table that you broke." I said, "Can I please get your autograph?" And I remember what he said in this gruff voice. He said, "Go get it." So I ran to my car and I went to go and get it, and I brought it back. I didn't even have a marker or anything for him to sign it. You know what? He asked one of the other wrestlers. He said, "Give me something to sign this." Excuse me. So Sabu signed it right there. Sabu, ECW 1998. Okay? Then I remember he gave the pin to Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam signed it right there. Okay? And then I don't know who signed it next. I do believe it was Bobby Duncum Jr. And I'm sorry that this is at an angle. I'm just trying not to, turn this around again. My phone and the lighting, my flashlight, my flash went out on my cell phone, and I had to rig up this ghetto light to it. So, I do apologize. But Bobby Duncum Jr. signed it, and I do believe this gentleman signed it last. But these are all 100% real and genuine, and like I said, this has been around for 20 years. It's been through states that I moved. I don't even know how many, numerous cities. Like I said, Bobby Duncum Jr., he passed away in 2000, and the Canadian Tiger, Mike Lozanowski, and I do apologize if that is pronounced wrong, this gentleman passed away in, I believe, 2003. Yeah, I do believe it's 2003. So we have two gentlemen that have passed away, and we have the legendary Sabu, and we have Rob Van Dam, who has done, he's an amazing athlete, an individual. I can't say enough about these gentlemen. So I'm gonna turn this around, and I'm gonna show you. Sorry, like I said, this is a handheld camera, but I'm gonna show you. This is the table. It's one of those big tables that they pull out. You would see them at ECW or whatever. They pull it out from under the ring or whatever and set it up, and then lay the wrestler on top of it. It's a big table, about 6 feet long, 7 feet long. I don't even know, something like that. Heavy table, but I'm gonna just go around like this and just like I said, the lighting, I had to rig up a light for it because I'm sitting here taping. This is like the third take I've had to do, and I've had to say this like 3 times at least. And finally, I just had to get this light and rig it up. And I'll show it to you now. Yeah, that's the light. So how I'm gonna do this? I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to walk in front. But and let me move this like that. And that's the wood. And yes, that's a chair, and yes, that's bottled water. So, but and I'm gonna have to walk in front of it again. I do apologize. And I'll just do this again. Do it like this, and then I'm trying to do autofocus here, so, and then I'm gonna turn it back around and put it like this. And let me move this and then get that. Okay, sorry, I don't even know where I showed you just now. I apologize. Whatever I just showed you, it's a mess. I mean, I'll just show you right now. I probably showed you all that. Yeah, that's probably making you dizzy, so I apologize. It's not, this is not the cleanest. It's lived in, if you will. Let's just say it's lived in. But yeah, so I mean, this is, I believe, I'm not going to say unique, but I mean, tell me another one. Show me another one. I mean, and I know it's 100% genuine because I had it signed in person. I got the piece of table. You know, I got the signatures in person. So this is 100% real. I mean, I've heard people say, oh, you know, something about this is 110% real. Listen, there's no more than 100%. You know, when it comes to I gave 110%, okay, there is nothing. 100% is the best you can do. So I know for a fact this is 100% genuine. I'm not going to say no 100%, 110% or whatever, but I'm going to give you, and yes, it's got stains. It's got, you know, my brother attached a ticket. He had a ticket on here that it was signed by Dory Funk Jr. And somewhere along the way, I know what happened, but I'm not going to name names. I'll just say it got thrown out. Hopefully on accident, but, you know, that's sad. I wish I had that. It was a hand-signed picture of Dory Funk Jr., a legendary wrestler. Terry Funk, legendary. I mean, I have so much respect for these. I mean, Harley, all I got to do is say Harley Race. I mean, the legends like Harley Race and Wahoo McDaniels. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I'll just give you a little sneak peek, and I'll tell you what I'm gonna show you next. I'm gonna show you what I think. Well, I'm not gonna say what I think. Well, I have an autographed picture of the legendary Sheik. Which Sabu is his nephew, and it's Mr. Ed Farhat, who passed away, legend in the business. And I have it's a personally autographed picture. You know, it is personally signed to an individual, and I've never seen it before in my life. I've never seen a picture that is signed with a kind message from the noble Sheik, who is the king of kayfabe. I mean, I have never, ever. You show me one. Show me one, tell me one of an original autograph signed by the Sheik that has a nice, personalized message. And out of respect to Mr. Bobby Duncum Jr., I am going to turn this around and show you again. Because, like I said, this gentleman right here, he signed it in 1998, and I mean, he did sign it in 1998, and he passed away in 2000, so this is signed in black magic marker, Bobby Duncum Jr. And I'm gonna, sorry, I'm gonna zoom in on this right here, the Canadian Tiger. Sorry, it keeps on, the focus is not the best in the world. I'm going to zoom in. Oop, not that zoomed. Not that close, but let me. So there's that. And then let me zoom out again, and I'll get Sabu. There's Sabu right there. And, yeah, I mean, Bobby Duncum Jr. I mean, there's autographs of him that there was some cards that he was supposed to sign, and he did sign, and he passed away before they actually went out, and those have been auctioned out on eBay, and those bring a couple $100. So I'm just saying that, you know, this has probably got to be the rarest Bobby Duncum Jr. signature there is. You know, I mean, I've never seen his signature on anything else of this magnitude. And like I said, this was signed 2 years before he passed away. And this is signed with Rob Van Dam, with Sabu, and this gentleman right there. So, I mean, you tell me what you think. You tell me what you think of this item. You tell me what you think of the rarity and the value of this item in the comments below. Please, if you like this video, then hit the like. I mean, if you don't like it, then hit the dislike, you know, I mean, you know. But please, in the comments below, tell me what you think of this item and the rarity of this item and the value, like the true value of this item, like US dollars. What do you think this is actually worth to a collector? All right, so I'm going to end it now, and I do thank you for your time, and I do apologize if I mispronounced anybody's names wrong, if the quality of the video was poor, but I wanted to put this on YouTube for everybody to see, because, I mean, I come from a generation where, I mean, literally, I was scared to death of Abdul the Butcher. I mean, I was scared to death. I mean, people can say whatever they want about Abdullah, and yes, I have my feelings too. I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole nother video. I could do a whole video on, I mean, how I feel about Harley Race. I mean, for God's sake, I mean, Harley Race is like, you know, I mean, he's just... When I think of an NWA champion, I mean, the toughness of a champion and the believability of an NWA champion, whenever, you know, I mean, I'm just saying, I have so much respect for Harley Race and Wahoo McDaniels, and the list can go on, and I will do another video on that. But, like I said, I come from a generation where I was scared to death of Abdul the Butcher. I was scared to death of, now, like I said, this was before the internet, whenever I was young, and, you know, I didn't get to, you know, watch a whole lot of wrestling outside of, you know, in Florida, let's just say Florida. I was lucky enough to, you know, be with the Florida Championship Wrestling and, you know, Gordon Soley, and I remember going to, my dad used to take me to matches, you know, and I saw in Florida, and I saw, you know, like Dusty Rhodes in a bull rope match, and I'm talking about when I was young. I'm talking about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, you know, watching Dusty Rhodes all bloody and a bull rope match in Florida, and I mean, just the voice. I mean, Gordon Soley. I mean, what can you say about Gordon Soley? You know, I mean, just he's, you know, the upper echelon of. I mean, he's just simply awesome. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I mean. I would have nightmares about Kamala, you know, the Ugandan giant. I mean, never in a million years would I have thought that he was from Alabama and he used to be a truck driver. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, this was back, you know, like I said before, sports entertainment, and when, you know, when the bad guys were bad guys and good guys were good guys, you know what I'm saying? And well, I mean, this was a transition period, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I'm talking about when I was younger, and I'm talking about in the 80s, you know, like whenever I was a kid back in the 80s. So, but that's a whole nother video. But all right, so I'm gonna end it now. I can, you know, about real wrestling, I could talk for hours. My brother and I, my identical twin brother, mirror image identical twin brother, God bless him. I mean, I still have a shirt of his, you know, an NWA shirt, you know, an NWA was like, you know, the Harvard. It was like the, I mean, when the NWA was the real NWA, I mean, just like Ric Flair said and Harley Race said, the NWA champion was the champion of the world. I mean, he could travel anywhere, and he was known as the man. Simply the man. I mean, you know, like I said, I mean, God bless Ric Flair, God bless Harley Race, God bless Wahoo, God bless all the legends of wrestling. I mean, all the tough legends that worked through, you know, just pain and broken backs and just, you know, oh, never mind, I gotta stop this now. I could just keep on going. I love real wrestling. All right, God bless everybody. God bless. God bless. Thank you for your time.